Hello, gurus, and welcome back to another episode of the Guru Talk Show, Guru Spotlight Interviews Season 3. It seems the title gets longer every time I introduce it. But that's all good because we are going to appreciate having another guru on the spotlight today. But first, we need to introduce the guru leader himself, James MacNeil, and then our guru, Murali, who has been a part of our community for a very long time. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Raessa. Hello, James.
Hello, my brother. We got sun shining through the window. You can see it coming through. I couldn't be more happy to be with you too, with Raessa and with Murali. I'm a raving fan of both of you and you gurus. Everyone watching this, I encourage you to get a pen and paper. Murali is a hardcore, true and blue guru, authentic. He's the real deal. For a long time, I had the honor of meeting Murali. I gave a presentation and Murali came to me at the end and he honored me with kind words and encouragement. And then he just whips out all these books and says, "This is me." I'm like, dude, you're the real deal. And so since then, we've had a bond and a friendship and a brotherhood. Murali has been a source of inspiration to me and my business and to continue to stoke the fire of making our guru leader community better. He's in our guru council. This is a friend. This is a guru. This is an expert, and we're honored to have him on our show. Thank you so much, Murali, for being here.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. So let's just get started with one of our first questions here. And Murali, it is, let's just start. 1, how long have you been in the guru leader community? And 2, what is it that you do?
Excellent, Raessa. Well, like James literally took the words out of my mouth. And, you can never make the connection going forward. But when you look back, it's that one thread among a crowd of, James, you are surrounded by lots of people, and I'm just the wannabes walking up to you, and I'm looking to get that one exclusive minute with James, and I got to put my best foot forward because James was already a celebrity out there, and so I go out, reach out, but things work out very well. Like James said, there's a connection. What comes from the heart goes into the heart, and here I am. So, Raessa, to answer your question, it's been over 2 to 3 years since that chance encounter, but in the universe, they say, James, there are no accidents. Yes. Things are supposed to happen for a reason, right? So, it's the feeling is mutual. It's a privilege, and it's humbling to be in this company of both of you. You guys do amazing work. Raessa, you with APSO, and James, what you do for the entire planet. The entire planet deserves a James. And, so this is my beautiful association with you. And Raessa, very quickly, what do? I'm a business branding coach. Now, the branding, the term's been done to death, but very briefly, what does a business branding coach do? I help out bring out the uniqueness in every individual or a business. Everyone is bestowed and endowed with uniqueness, but sadly, we don't live up to that potential that we have. And so that's exactly what I do. I specialize in building brands out of businesses, out of individuals, define their edge in a very competitive marketplace, and help them live up to their true purpose and the brand that becomes an authority in the marketplace. So that's what I do, Raessa, business branding coach.
Very nice. BBC. I love the co-association there. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Murali. James, do you want to add to that? I think we're going to have a really great interview right now.
Well, I'm convinced of it. Every time I speak with Murali, my life improves. And if you're watching this right now, your life is about to improve. So Murali, I'm going to start with what is branding for those who may not be, dialed into that world of yours. And I'll share in front of them what I've shared with you before, that my take on branding is the truth of branding, your personal brand and your professional brand, is what people think or feel when they come across your name or your services, your company logo or whatever. What are their thoughts and feelings provoked? And what I mean by that is, what experience have you brought to their lives? What is that visceral reaction to your identity, personally or professionally? And so that's what I call the brand. And in its core, I'm curious, Murali, if you would agree.
Absolutely. 100%, James. Much, You couldn't have said it better. Exactly.
And so for those of you watching, I want you to know that you may have a great brand, as in the truth of how you affect people. What Murali's expertise is for you to put that out there to a broader audience, so that it's not just one by one can people experience the truth about your impact on their lives, but how you can so precisely take that authentic, genuine you experience and make that part of your marketing, make that part of your exposure to the planet, to the right people, to see the right version of you. Do you feel I've said that right, Murali? That it's taking that truth and multiplying it. Would you agree?
And amplifying it. In other words, you and I don't have to add something extra to you. You already have it. You're endowed with the greatness. Our job is to just tweak the channel a little bit and amplify the voice so the whole universe can hear you. Everyone's already got it within them, James.
Oh, I love it. So it's like you're a treasure hunter first to find the gold truth of who they are and how they are. Is that right?
Exactly. So James, since you are on the topic, and since we had Raessa on the call, let's take this conversation. We exist somewhere in between. So there is the low and the high of branding. So let me start with the low of branding and why everyone needs a BBC, like Raessa said, a business branding coach. We live in the beautiful land of Canada, and one of the tragedies is, since Raessa is from the student community, we often see students graduating with a lot of student loans, and then they spend over 100,000 to get a Queen's degree and MBA from here and Schulich and UFT and everything. Most of the time, a majority of them end up in jobs serving burgers and coffee and gas stations. And somehow I often ask them, is it all that is to your life? Has your life become, are you only worth $14.10 per hour? Are you only worth $14.10 per hour? Yeah. And then they live with their roommates and the conversation goes, hey, you make $20 per hour, I would like to go there. And this is what happens. Great potential that is nipped at the bud at the tender age of around 20 years or something. And that is why you need business branding coach, because I always say this, you are put on this planet with a unique thumbprint. The universe got it right. Everyone was branded. No one's got this. Not even my siblings. Even identical twins don't get the same thumbprint. We are unique. But then the tragedy of life is people end up living as a mere statistic. Oh, what do you do? I'm a student. I'm a lawyer. I'm an accountant. Even within the guru community, I'm a guru. Come on. You need to elaborate and for the universe to act on you. The higher branding is, James, I happen to be drinking coffee when you were here. So let's take coffee. What is coffee? Yeah, that's good.
Nectar of the gods. Yes.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Wow. These are two extremes. Now, James, this wasn't intentional, but you happen to have a branded cup of coffee, yes, and I have a non-branded cup of coffee. This is coffee I make at home. What is coffee? Take water, boil it, put coffee bean, and that's coffee. Right? Coffee has been around for years and millions of years, James. But then comes a gentleman called Howard Schultz. Water, same coffee bean, and he calls it Starbucks. And lo, James holds it, and that's $4 and $5. You call it $5. So, James, the question is it the man, is it the coffee, or is it the man behind the coffee?
Right.
Or rather, is it the man behind the coffee? Because Howard Schultz had a coach called Warren Bennis, who was his business branding coach and who helped James build the large global empire that Starbucks is. So we saw the low and the high of branding. If you're not branded, you are just a statistic, just eking out a mere living.
Yeah.
And if you just get branded with a coach, you could become the Starbucks of the world. And everyone should become the Starbucks and the Apple and the Netflix, yeah, and the Amazon of that industry with, yes, a business branding coach.
I love it. If you're watching this and you're thinking, boy, I would like to get that kind of Starbucks experience, right? I mean, there's a million companies that probably schlep coffee around, probably more than 1 million. But how many of them have done what Starbucks has done? And as you're listening to Murali, and of course, I had this prop intentionally to serve and support my brother here. The question is, how do I identify the uniqueness about me that I can package in such a way that I can take my brand, my business, as far as I can, as far as I should, and as far as I desire? If you're interested in this, you want to at least have a discussion with a branding coach. And I strongly suggest you have a discussion with Murali. Having the best solution, having the best potion, right? The best whatever ingredients, that's great. But if nobody knows about it, how much did it serve you? And how many people did you serve? Have the goods, have the right answer, have your guru empire, your guru message, but then don't keep it a secret. Take that lamp and put it on a hill. Don't hide it under a rock. And so speak with a branding coach. And I strongly suggest you talk to Murali. Murali, I'm going to ask you this about your business. Who is your ideal client? Who do you help? And what part of the branding marketing, what is normally your sweet spot of what you do for those targeted clients? So who do you serve? How do you best serve them?
James, the answer goes right back to you. You have been one of my mentors, and James, you always taught us a client is someone who knows the pain, feels the pain, knows he has it, can afford to pay it, and a history of paying it. So ideally, my business client, so let me repeat, gurus. This is a James exclusive. An ideal client for any of you is someone who has a pain, but identifies or knows he or she has the pain. It's very important. A person can't ignore it. The third thing is he or she has the potential to pay for the solution. And the fourth one, very important, is they have a history of having paid for such a solution. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. And James, so that is the joke, what can you get for $10? Nothing. You can get $5. So something like, it's going to cost, but then if you don't get branded, welcome to the world of statistics.
Yeah.
So that would be my client. Now that, since that is defined, James, it could be the student who, in spite of 100,000 degree at Shoe Lake or Queens, is eking out a living at $14 an hour. That could be my client, right? And we call it a brand audit. And often, how do you define your brand uniquenesses? Couple of things. What are you passionate to do? Each one of us has one gift. We can do something,
Yeah.
and you want to identify what are you passionate about, what you love doing. Second thing is you want to notice feedback. When you do something, people say, for example, Jim Carrey would have been told, hey, you're very good at comedy. And so that might have sparked him to do more comedy. So you always are looking for feedback about, so when there are many other stage speakers, but what is it about James? James thrives on the feedback, and he knows he's hitting the right spot, even with pure spiritual intelligence. So even within this unique branding sphere of, guru coaches, James, you defined your brand, and you'll agree with me, most of it happens in the feedback,
Yes.
So you sort of aware, you got ears to the ground. People like this, so you do more of that. If people can just be more aware, and it's almost like, when you look at the lake, right? Now it's spring and summer is coming. So we look at the lake, when it is still, you can see everything. The mind is like that. When it is disturbed, you can't see anything, right? And so if you calm down, if you're aware, you will be able to listen to the feedback.
Yes.
That is how you become a brand, James. And then, so that would be my ideal client, helping them calm down, relax, find their uniqueness. And then let's say it's a individual with very low budget, like a student. Hey, you still have social media. What are you doing on Instagram? Are you just doing cat videos or dog videos on Facebook? Or are you building a brand on social media, LinkedIn? What do you give out there? The law of karma. And James would teach us seeding. I come from the Hindu philosophy, and a lot of what we teach is something that James also shares.
Yes.
It's very similar, and so that's how you build your brand. A bigger business, a small business, very essential today. Otherwise, you get wiped out. Or a business, or even the coach of a soccer team or a hockey team, everyone needs branding. A bigger business, you need branding. You need to go out there. What's your website saying? What's your online presence saying? What's your email saying? What's your business card saying? What is your introduction saying? And so this would be my client, James, from a student to an individual, to a small business, to a big corporation. Anyone in a leadership position definitely needs to be branded.
I love this. I love this. So I hope you're as excited watching this. I hope you're as excited by what Murali is sharing with you that you say, man, I want to do that. I'm little insider's secrets. What Murali is saying has been 100% my experience. When I started out as a speaker, I would talk about anything to anyone, anytime. If there was a budget or something I could sell, my answer was yes. Right? Murali, I would do anything that I could make some bucks at just to make a living and survive. But then over time, I started listening to the feedback loop, right? What is the social mirror telling me? And people would say, boy, you're really, good at this communications thing. I'm like, oh, I'm a communications guy. And then I had a corporation say, you are our subject matter expert on communications. I said, are you telling me I'm a communications expert? So then I go to the next meeting, they say, who are you? I say, I'm a communications expert. And how do you know? They told me I was, right? So it was the feedback loop. I had a client tell me your communications training is just like Aikido. I said, what's Aikido? Then I rebranded verbal Aikido. And so exactly what Murali is saying, you might hope that you get lucky like I did, and you might want to get some guidance, as I had, to be able to spot that feedback loop to build brands around my truth and the truth that I'm getting back. Murali, what does it take for someone to begin to learn about this? If one of our gurus says, I want to talk to Murali, what kind of an investment does it require to do this, like audit or introduction? Like, what does it take for someone to begin to find out how you might be able to help them? What would be step one? What would it cost to start just to talk to you?
Excellent, James. One of the things is all gurus know that James himself has brought out a community blueprint. I think everyone should take advantage of it. Just fill it out. When you put pen to paper, something magical happens. You're able to crystallize your thoughts, put it down on print, right? And then you remember it. That's the second advantage. When you write down something, you remember. And so it's a great service you as a guru would do to yourself. It's an asset. Your time is an asset. Your mindset, your attitude is an asset. If you don't invest it, you're depleting it. So my advice would be to take, charge of your life, print out that community blueprint, write it down, and then, of course, get in touch with James, get in touch with me, and we can help you brand depending on your budget, where you want to go, where are you currently. And that Simon Sinek book, it's a beautiful book, Start With Why. Again, it's a branding book. A lot of people, what do you do? I'm a lawyer, I'm an engineer, I'm a doctor. And somewhere, James, society is to blame for this. From the time you're born, every relative that would come into our home, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? That's a common question across the universe. No one ever asks, why do you want to do what you want to do?
Yeah.
That's been asked much earlier in our life, right? A lot of people wouldn't be stuck at jobs they hate and so on and so forth. And that's the story of Pili. He started playing soccer. He was discovered. He played very well, and then he was drafted into a club, and they paid him money. The first reaction, he was shocked. He said, "You mean to say actually I get paid to do something that I love doing?" And so, James, that is branding. Each one of us, can do something. You can create more wealth. You can create more income. For instance, James, the guru community that weekly we get together.
Yeah.
No one's putting a gun on people's head. We voluntarily show up. That's the dopamine effect. Why do we show up voluntarily? Because we love it. That is how your work should be. That's how you must approach your work. Branded means your work doesn't feel like a work. You enjoy doing it, and you will be as surprised like Pili. I actually get paid to do this.
Yeah.
And that would require you invest in branding. We can work out a budget, chalk out a beautiful budget for you within you. There is no end to how much you can brand yourself. Social media is very much there to help you. And a lot of details can also be found on my website, which is a branding website, aceworldfoundation.com. aceworldfoundation.com. But the beginning, Jane, the first step would be the guru community blueprint that James has created for all of us. And you want to take advantage of that, James. That would be the starting point.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Murali. I want to end with a call to action. And I'm going to ask I'm going to kind of challenge you, Murali, and challenge the community because I believe so strongly in this. Murali, point blank question, putting the pressure on you. The camera's on you. Would you be willing to talk to the gurus in our community, first conversation for free, to talk to them about where they at on branding and just an entry conversation with no strings attached, but for you to meet with them, get a sense of where they're at, and to give them some encouragement, some direction at no cost. And if they want to hire you, great. If not, that's fine. But would you be willing to speak one-on-one with the gurus in our community at zero cost? Would you be open to that, sir?
Absolutely, James. Why wouldn't I? It would be a honor and a privilege, first of all. And like a brand audit would be something I would like to help everyone. And we owe it to the gurus, we owe it to James, we owe it to the community, you know. And so it would be a great service. It would be my way of paying it forward to the community. At the end of the day, you know, our reputation lives long after we live. You know, the work we do, the legacy we live. If through me, I can help spark someone's life, reignite someone's life, why not, Jim? My mission, Jim, beyond just business has been to light 10,000 candles. You know, that would be my legacy. And if the guru community I can do that, absolutely, James, 100%, yes.
So, Murali, I'm taking the first time slot. I want to sit at your feet as a student and ask you to do a branding audit for me and my businesses. And I encourage every guru watching this to immediately take advantage of this. Your brand is central to your business. Why not speak to an expert that we know, like, love, trust, who serves us every single week to help our guru community? Have an open, honest, respectful, direct conversation with him, learn what you can, and decide what makes sense, whether with him or without him moving forward. I encourage everyone to follow in my lead. I'm taking that first slot. I'm doing it. I'm going to meet with you, Murali. Can people put something in the messenger group, just message you and say, Murali, I'm in? Would that be doable? Raessa, how do we best make it easy for our gurus to let Murali know they want one of these free audits to be able to meet with him?
Yeah, let's make it fun and do the hashtag BBC, or, you know, to make it more simple. So just kidding. Put down in the chat hashtag branding with Murali. Yes.
That would be a great idea, James. Yeah. That is the beautiful, I want to end this with the beautiful Zig Ziglar quote. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Even one step taken in the right direction would be the right thing. So absolutely agree with you, Raessa and James. 100% yes.
Done. Okay. Immediately go to your messenger group before you delay. Go into the Guru Leader Messenger group. It's entitled the Guru Weekly Achievement Call Messenger group. You simply go in there and you hit hashtag, which is the pound key on a telephone, for those who remember the old telephones, say things like that. Hashtag branding. And if you want to be even extra special, hashtag branding with Murali. Either way, Murali and we as a team are going to help you connect, and you get to take advantage of this very generous gift from a dear, dear guru in our community. Thank you so much for meeting with us, Murali. I enjoy every time we get to speak. I'm excited about my branding audit, and I'm excited to see all the impact for our community.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you, Raessa. You guys are doing a great service to the Guru community. It's always my honor and privilege to be with you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Murali, and thank you, James, and thank you to the gurus who join us every week to see the other gurus in our community on the Spotlight. So this has been another episode of Guru Spotlight Interviews on the Guru Talk Show Season 3. We will see you next week.